Hey guys, it's Rachel and welcome back to a video, and today I am giving you guys a tutorial that many of you guys have asked for, and it is how I personally draw hair. I just wanted to start off by saying that everyone has their own way of drawing hair. No one way is correct. There are so many different art styles out there that hair can be drawn in so many different ways and styles that there's no single way that's correct. Today I'm just going to be showing you how I personally draw hair and give you guys a few examples and tips on how you can improve your hairstyles. I'm not really going to be getting into realism with this because I think a lot of you are going to have your own art styles. They're going to be kind of cartoony, so I'm not going to get super into realism, and it's not something that I'm completely mastered with either. So I'm just going to be giving you a lot of tips on stuff that's kind of like my style. The first thing I'm going to talk about is references, because I think when you first get started, even with just art in general, references are super important, not just hair. I recommend looking at a lot of different artists for how they do hair, and even real life images. You can start looking at how hair falls, how different hair types work, so curly hair, straight hair, it all works a little bit differently. But I think when you're first starting, it's really important to look at different artists and how they draw hair, because you can see, one, how they approach drawing hair, and two, just see kind of what you like from each art style. Maybe you like to point hair, maybe you like to make it round. See what works on your style. So for me personally, I draw square heads, so it's all very geometric, sharp lines, stuff like that. There's not a whole lot of round shapes going into my art style. So personally, I like to make my hair have points on the end of it and have it a lot more geometric looking, because I think it matches my square heads really, really well. So it's just going to be a lot of trial and error and seeing what style of hair looks best on your characters. So what I did a lot when I was first starting hair, I guess, is I would draw my face shape. So I did the squares, threw some eyes on there, and then I would just take a bunch of different hairstyles that I saw online and from other artists, and just kind of put them onto my character, draw them onto my character, and see what I thought complemented my art style well. Now for actually drawing the hair. For me, I find that drawing hair in very quick strokes is a lot more effective than trying to really take your time with it, because hair in general is something that's changing all the time, and it's very hard to be very particular with it. So for me, I like to start off by doing a lot of quick strokes and just getting out the general shape of the hairstyle, and then I go in with ink and simplify it. And I know a lot of other artists do this, and especially really important when you have a reference that is a real life image, because real life images are going to have a lot more detail and strokes to them in general. So what I do is I would put out my shape with pencil, and it's got a lot more strokes than my final image will, and then I take my ink and I just simplify it. When I mean simplify, it's basically I'm minimizing a lot of the strokes that were in the original pencil sketch. So I'm just taking away a lot of those pencil strokes. For coloring, which you'll see a few examples of me coloring some hairstyles, I always start off by coloring the entire hair one flat color, basically the color that I want it to be, and then I go in and do shading. I don't do a whole lot of highlights for hair in general unless I'm trying to go for some kind of stylistic approach. But for shading with hair, you're going to put shadows where the hair is closer to the skull. So if a certain hair stroke is not as protruded as others, that's usually where you put shadow. And sort of by the neck, when it starts to sink into the back of the neck, that's where you can put a lot of shadow, and around the ears. Now I'm going to give you a few tips on how you can characterize your hairstyles and make them more unique and kind of customize certain hairstyles to your artwork. First thing that you can customize is how you end your hair strokes. So as I was talking about before, I end a lot of my hair strokes with points, but I've seen many artists do rounded points, so they kind of do it more circular. So Gravity Falls, for example, does a lot of rounded hairstyles. You could also do squares, so kind of making them more cube, but that's also a stylistic approach. It's a lot of just taking shapes and messing with them to work for hair. The art in general is all just based off of shapes. You can break down pretty much anything that you draw into just shapes. So an arm can be broken down into rectangles and circles and all this different things. It's just how you perceive it. So maybe work on trying in different shapes into your hairstyles and seeing how it works for you. Another thing you can do is how much you simplify your hair. So maybe you like the numerous amounts of strokes that you put in with your ink glider. Maybe you like it super simple and you only want an outline. of your hair. That's all up to you, and you get to choose that. I personally like to do an outline for my hair and then add in a few other little strokes within it to give a little bit more detail. Another thing you can choose is detail in general. So maybe you like to have a little few like loose hairs kind of every once in a while. Maybe you don't like it super smooth. Maybe you do like cross hatching, anything like that, to just add depth and detail to your hair. And then my last way that I can think of is how much hair covers your character. So I know some artists that make their hair like super small, and it's usually kind of just a stylistic approach. It's kind of cute. They like to make it super small on top of the head, and then I know artists that like cover the whole head in hair. It's all up to you. It's just a lot of trial and error. Art in general is trial and error, but hairs also. So I know this wasn't like a super constructed tutorial, but hair is something that it doesn't really have like an equation on how you do it. It's something that you would just get better at over time based on how your style is, what you do to work on it. I think personally it's going to be based off of a lot of references, trying to practice different artists' way of making hair, looking at real life images and just taking inspiration. And then another thing that I think is really important, at least in my opinion, is doing it quickly. Hair is not something that you like sit there and like really precisely try to outline. It's something that you do kind of fast and then go back with your ink later and simplify things. Also, if you guys remember from 2 videos ago, I did a giveaway on like a TCG binder. The giveaway is now over, so if you guys did enter into that giveaway on Instagram, make sure to watch your DMs for a message in case you won. I'm going to be releasing the winners next week if they allow me to, and I'll give you guys a little bit more updates on that over on Instagram. So let me know if you guys have any more questions about hair. I know it's a very confusing topic in art in general because it's so, you can do it in so many different ways. So just let me know if you have any more questions in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer them. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a like, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys want to see next on my channel. And don't forget to subscribe for more awesome art videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!